This is an exciting video for me to make, you guys. If I could pick one supplement to add into your diet separate from food, assuming you're doing all the essentials and making sure that you've got all of your major nutrient bases covered, this would be the one supplement that I would add into your diet. In this video, I'm going to go over the benefits of supplementing iodine. I'm also going to explain the signs of iodine deficiency in your body so that you can learn to spot them. We're going to talk about gut health. We're going to talk about optimal thyroid function and hormone function. And in the end, I'm going to give you an application, something that you can start to do to get your body used to added iodine even before you meet with a practitioner and apply the official iodine protocol to yourself. There's things you can do to get started. So I'm going to go over that at the end. Hi, my name is Selena from Wellness Campaign. I make videos on gut health, detoxification, and non-toxic living. My goal is to take the overwhelm and confusion out of the healing process and lead you to clarity and peace so that you can heal your gut and conquer your chronic symptoms naturally. So if that sounds like you, please consider subscribing to this channel. But without further ado, let's jump into the top benefits of iodine. I want to make sure that I mention that iodine is a trace mineral. It is a mineral that you need in itty bitty tiny bits and concentration into your body, but it is needed for every single cell function, and it is needed for optimal thyroid function. Iodine is not something that just stores in your body over time. You actually need to continually replenish it, and it is something that your thyroid, so the little butterfly looking organ right there, is going to scoop up and utilize even before it lets the rest of your body have it. But I need to cover that so that you guys kind of understand the base here. So for the first benefit of iodine, it is going to be detox. And I harp on this a lot here, as you guys know, but iodine can actually be a very effective heavy metal detox. When looked at in studies, they found that as you increased iodine in the diet, if the person started taking supplemental iodine, they actually noticed increased levels of lead and mercury in the urine, meaning that it was actually helping the body to purge this heavy metal. I recently made a whole video on detoxing heavy metals, so if you're interested in checking that out, I will have that linked in the description box below. There's a lot of different ways you can detox heavy metals, but iodine is one of them. And it doesn't just detox heavy metals, but it will actually detox bromine and fluoride and chlorine from the body, because essentially every cell in your body has these iodine receptors that if it doesn't get iodine and it gets these bromine, fluoride, chlorine, counterfeit iodine, it will take up whatever it is offered. So if it isn't offered iodine and if it's offered chlorine, it will take up the chlorine. So it is a really effective way to detox chlorine, because what your cell's going to do once it actually gets what it's been wanting is it's going to give up the thing that was the counterfeit of the thing that it was wanting. So it's going to give up the chlorine, it's going to give up the bromine, going to give up the fluoride. So it's a very effective way to detox those. So overall, it's going to be a very effective detox. Number two is that it's going to help regulate your hormones. So it does this by helping you regulate your estrogen levels. So it's essentially detoxing the excess estrogen from your body, meaning that it doesn't accumulate and cause symptoms like heavy periods. Estrogen dominance can lead to things like cysts in your breasts and your ovaries, cystic acne, hot flashes, really anything that's associated with high estrogen. It's going to be able to start to balance those levels out because it's helping you to kind of get rid of that. Number three is that it's going to help improve your skin. So it's been known to get rid of the bumps on the back of your arms, called keratosis pilaris, I guess it's called. That was actually one of the things that led me to iodine in the first place. And I will say that it has decreased dramatically. Dry skin, itchy skin, skin tags, warts, even scar regeneration. Iodine can support all of that. Number four is going to be its benefit on your mood. Iodine has been known to increase your energy and also decrease your depression. And this is essentially because it's going to improve the function of your thyroid gland, which controls a lot of your hormones, but it's also been known to support the neuroreceptors in your brain. So it's a little bit unclear exactly which one it would be, but in supporting brain function and optimal hormones, it's going to boost your mood overall. Number five is that it's going to improve thyroid function. So kind of like I just mentioned, but really any symptom that's associated with thyroid dysfunction, you're going to start to see improvements upon. And I know this is kind of a controversial one because a lot of people fear that you can develop hypothyroidism from taking iodine. I'm going to address that a little bit later, but generally speaking, iodine is a very important mineral to your thyroid. And if it doesn't have it, you're going to start to see symptoms like an enlarged thyroid, or well, I'll get into that later, but your body needs it. And your thyroid in particular is going to essentially hoard the iodine in your body. And number 6 is gut health, which, you know, that's what I'm all about here on my channel. But iodine does a very intricate job of actually decreasing pathogenic yeast overgrowth while not disrupting the balance of beneficial flora. So because it's a mineral, it works differently than an antibiotic would, but it's going to have a beneficial effect on your microbial balance. So if you have like any sort of imbalance, you're going to see benefit there. A quick note on that, if you are interested in improving your gut health and overall immune system function, I did create a quick guide to gut health with my 10 best tips for improving your gut health and kind of conquering those chronic symptoms naturally. So if you're interested in that, I'll have a link for that in the description box below. But there's a lot of components to gut health. Iodine is part of that. And like I've talked about on other videos, there's a whole host of things that you can do to start improving your health on your own at home today. So be sure to grab that guide if you're interested. Okay, iodine deficiency symptoms. I was actually intrigued when I started learning about this because honestly, so many of my symptoms were correlated to iodine deficiency and I had thought they were something else. So I'm just gonna kind of run down this list because it's quite long and it's something that I've been compiling for a while and learned a little bit of new information in the process of scripting this video as well. So like I said, that keratosis pilaris, that like skin bumps on the back of your arms, that could be iodine deficiency. Cracked heels and elbows can be iodine deficiency. That would be different than like flaky skin, because flaky skin is more of a yeast problem, but if it's legitimately like cracked, that would be thyroid and, you know, iodine deficiency. Hair loss, so that's even in postpartum. That's why postpartum hair loss is so common, is because postpartum thyroid imbalance is so common and your body needs tons of iodine recovering postpartum with nursing and just the fact that you are giving tons of those nutrients away. Also breast issues, so fibrocystic breasts, iodine will regulate that estrogen like I mentioned. This also applies to uterine cysts as well. Heavy periods, again, that's the excess estrogen. So painful periods can also be excess estrogen. A swollen tongue, so if you see those like waves or ripples on the sides of your tongue, sometimes that's a, you know, small palate and improper tongue posture and all that stuff, but sometimes it is also your tongue swelling actually increase the surface area and potential absorption of iodine. And it's essentially a sign that your body is seeking this mineral out. So it's enlarging the organ to be able to get it. So brain damage, iodine is essential for certain enzymes to actually create brain tissue and repair brain tissue. So it's often why you see some babies be really resilient to any kind of bumps or bruises in the head, and some babies and children getting concussions that can cause them to have prolonged issues. It is apparently the #1 cause of brain damage in children. This also kind of goes along my own personal recovery. I believe some of the symptoms that were residual from my concussion for years that have been an iodine deficiency, because iodine is so important to brain function. So any type of swollen thyroid, I'm going to put a couple pictures up here to show you what that would look like, because when I saw these, I thought it was fascinating. Anytime you see like a really enlarged neck area, or like, you know, just like the thyroid area being super big and bulky, that can be a sign of iodine deficiency. Infertility can be a sign of iodine deficiency. Your hormones need iodine. Intellectual disabilities, the adult IQ can actually go down by 15 points if you are iodine deficient, and children's IQ can go down by 13 points, which is also a thyroid issue. Can be hearing loss. The auditory centers of the brain need iodine. It's important in pregnancy to make sure that your children also have the ability to develop optimal hearing. Yeah, those auditory centers of the brain really need iodine. So dry hair and skin, like I mentioned, weight gain, cold extremities, and apparently decreased productivity, which I thought was interesting, but I think that goes along with that IQ idea. So comment below if you know of another symptom of iodine deficiency that I did not list, because I think they're super interesting and I know there's some that I didn't mention. But the last way that I'm going to mention of basically determining if you are iodine deficient is going to be the iodine patch test. And so that's basically done by getting some iodine. This is 5% Lugol solution. You can get a 2% Lugol solution, but you're going to get Lugol's iodine. J. Crow's is the brand that I use. I'll have linked in the description. It is potassium iodide and iodine, a unique percentage of both. And you're going to paint it on your skin. I'm going to do it here for you so that you can see it happen in real life. You're going to paint it on your skin. Give yourself a little patch. Some people say to put it on the inside of the arm. Put it here so you can see. You're going to put a patch on your arm, and it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look bright and red orange it. Don't get it on your clothes because it'll stain. If in an hour you come back and it's gone, you are very iodine deficient. Apparently like 1.88 billion people in the world are iodine deficient. I'm going to go into that next, but it's pretty common to be iodine deficient. If in 24 hours it's still there, that would be a really good sign, but also you're basically looking to see if within 24 hours is it gone, and if it is gone before 24 hours you likely have some level of iodine deficiency. There's not really a sense in going and getting official tests for this. This is really a good gauge, and then paying attention to that symptoms list, because again, it's a trace mineral. It's very hard to pinpoint, but this is a kind of like an easy at-home test you can do that'll kind of show you the severity of your deficiency. But now I want to go into why I believe humans are deficient in iodine. I'm going to run through a whole list because there's a whole host of reasons why we are currently very depleted, whereas once a long time ago we weren't maybe as depleted. I'm going to then explain why people are scared of doing iodine, and then, like I said, how to safely supplement iodine. That'll be at the end. Essentially, we are deficient because iodine is deficient in our soils. All our soils are very deficient in trace nutrients and minerals. We are very selenium deficient, which is a very important cofactor to iodine. I'm going to mention more on in the safety section. We love our non-iodized salt in America. We literally remove iodine from salt because for some reason we think that it's dangerous. It's actually super important. And we eat foods that actually deplete iodine. So this is an interesting thing. There are goitrogenic foods. So foods like cassava, corn, soy, canola oil, peanuts, pine nuts, millet, cruciferous vegetables. These things actually deplete your iodine stores. And the reason for that is that there is a substance in there that when it's in your body converts to a chemical that actually blocks the iodine receptor. For this reason, vegans tend to be really low in iodine. They are only consuming lots of cruciferous vegetables and nuts and seed oils and not any animal products. Along those lines, we don't eat the foods that are high in iodine, like shellfish, seafood. Sea kelp is one of the highest sources of iodine. Eating butter from cows that grazed by the ocean. That's why New Zealand butter is so popular, because people want butter with the high mineral content from cows that have been grazing near the ocean, as well as eggs, and specifically the egg yolks are high in iodine. Additionally, like I mentioned before, we are much more exposed to other halogens, and since our iodine receptors will take in whichever halogen is available at the time, bromine, fluoride, and chlorine are much more readily accessible. We've got fluoride in our water system. So when you take a shower with city water, we've got bromine in bread making processes. So it's literally part of the manufacturing process of bread in our country. It's essentially a dough conditioner. This is why I don't recommend processed grains. And fluoride is also, you're exposed to in dentistry. So if your iodine receptors get those things first, so we are more exposed to those other halogens, which will take up those spots in those iodine receptors, and your body does prefer iodine. It will start to kick those out once you start to get the true thing that it wants, but we are overexposed to the halogens. I think that's also part of the deficiency. There's also a chemical in cigarette smoke that can cause iodine deficiency, along with oral contraceptives and medications, which also, again, hinder the body's uptake of iodine. There's also this other theory that I learned about recently as I've been researching. Certain forms of radiation actually can deplete the body of iodine, so potassium iodide would then be really important. I haven't dug super deep into that one, but essentially there's lots of factors in our modern culture that hinder our uptake of iodine. So why are people so scared of this? Why are people so scared of supplementing iodine? Why does it get such a bad rep? Why is it not available in stores except for as a cleaning solution? Essentially, people believe that it can cause hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. I've heard theories on both, and they believe that too much iodine can be dangerous. And I think this is a really common misconception, because often what's happening in these cases where people are getting too much iodine is A, they were introducing it improperly, or B, they didn't have the proper cofactors for absorbing iodine. Really, to do that safely, you need high mineral stores. So you really need to be there's a whole process behind this, but having a good amount of mineral salt taken alongside the iodine as well as selenium, those two cofactors are key to making sure that your body doesn't have a terrible reaction, as well as introducing the iodine so extremely slow that you don't give your body even the slightest ability to have a major detox reaction. Because that is another thing that I think people discredit, is the power of iodine for detox. And that's often why, in my opinion, people feel that they've had these really extreme reactions. I think they're having detox reactions and their body wasn't prepared properly for the introduction of something so potent when it's been so depleted and just run full of toxicity beforehand. So that's my theory. I know there's a lot of different opinions out there. I would personally consult a practitioner, a really good GAPS practitioner, before introducing iodine. This is what I did, just to make sure that you have the right steps. And with that being said, I'm going to jump into how to introduce iodine safely, like what's a good first step if you think you might be deficient but you haven't met with a practitioner yet, to kind of get going on your iodine internal protocol, that is taking it inside of your mouth. The safest way to take iodine by far is going to be on your skin. Like I did here with the patch, this is a test, but you can also do it on your skin for a long time before you even think about taking it internally. Some people really do need to take it internally. I would venture to say a lot of people need to be taking it internally, but a great way to start and a great way to mitigate the detox reactions is going to be to put it on your skin and even put it in your bath. So start with a drop and build up your body's tolerance slowly, slowly, slowly. I've heard this go. Don't mix vitamin C in the bath that you're also putting iodine in, because the vitamin C will neutralize the iodine. Same reason you wouldn't want to be taking vitamin C while you're also right alongside taking iodine. So in the morning, you want to take it like an hour separate from your vitamin C, because vitamin C, even vitamin C rich foods, will neutralize the iodine. But skin painting and baths are really just the best way to start incorporating it on a small level. And if you believe you need a step above that, I would encourage you to meet with a practitioner. I have one linked in the description box below that I really trust and knows how to work in the iodine protocol properly, and they really helped me to make sure that I was doing it correctly and safely. I really would caution you against just jumping right into it yourself, because I've heard there can be extreme detox reactions. You want somebody in your corner before you just jump into something, making sure you're doing it correctly, make sure you've introduced the cofactors sufficiently and all of that. So if you got to the end of this video, I do want to remind you all that I have my gut health focus group starting on October 5th. If you're interested, it is a 6-week long focus group where I'm going to be diving deep into gut health related topics to help you conquer your chronic symptoms and really see improvements in your health. I'm going to be kind of coaching you along the way, and my real goal for this is to get feedback from you as to what you need, what your biggest pain points are in healing process, in learning all the information, mitigating confusion, because I really want to learn how to serve you guys best with my content and potential future courses that I make. So if you're interested in being in kind of like a free beta version of that course or program that I make soon, check out the description box below, which explains the exact instructions for getting signed up. As always, if you like this video, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. My goal with this channel is to see people heal their gut and conquer their chronic symptoms naturally. And so if that sounds like you, we would love to have you in this community on YouTube. Thanks for watching.